coming at you with another Star Citizen live stream. And what we're going to be doing today is answering your community questions. Please enter them in the chat up there. Please enter them in the chat. It's on your screen. It would be way over there on the far side. Yeah, please enter your okay, why haven't this popped up? Why am I not streaming? It says I'm streaming, but I'm looking at my stream and it says I'm offline. What's going on? Hang on. It says I'm streaming. I might have changed the code somewhere. Let me refresh the screen and see if it says that I'm streaming. Nope, it says my stream's offline. Okay, so okay, this says started streaming 2 minutes ago, but up here it says offline. Something is not right. Ah, now we're live. Okay, great. All right, we had a little mix-up there. But thanks for coming out and checking out this live stream Thursday afternoon. What we're going to do is we're going to spend a little bit of time just playing some Arena Commander. That's my plan. I'm just going to play some Arena Commander. When Around the Verse comes on, I'm going to go ahead and watch it on stream so you guys can watch it with me. But in the meantime, I'm going to play some Arena Commander Vandal Swarm probably. And what I've done is I've rearranged my layouts of my 3 monitors so it would make it easier for me to see when your questions pop up. So hopefully that'll help me be able to answer your questions as we go. All right, guys, so feel free to ask me any questions about Arena Commander, Star Marine, Squadron 42, Star Citizen, anything to do with Star Citizen and all of their IP. Just go ahead and ask away. I appreciate it. If you don't ask, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play. So from time to time, I'll remind the stream that I am answering questions. I don't expect to get a whole lot of people in the middle of the day because I know people work and go to school and things like that. So that's why I normally stream at night. But since I have today off, I wanted to get on and play a little. Let's do a Spectre match. That way we can get maybe a couple of other players involved. And we'll do public so we can get random pugs involved. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do Cooperative Vandal Swarm. And I like Dying Star best. Now, we have a variety of different ships that we have available to us this month. We've got the Warden and the Hornet. I personally have I'm sorry, the Hornet F7 Mike, which is the military version. It's called the Super Hornet because it's got extra guns and a second seat. Okay, and then you got the Warden, which is pretty bestial. And then I always fly with the Saber. That's my go-to ship. So today, if anybody's in stream and you want me to fly a specific one, you go ahead and make a recommendation. If I don't get a recommendation, then I'm going to pick one. I might be the only one in the stream. You know, watching my own stream, just making sure everything's live. Okay, it looks like we're not getting any kind of recommendation. So what should I fly? What should I fly? Hornet F7. CM. I'm not going to fly it. I'm not going to fly it. I'm going to go back to my hangar. I'm going to customize it before I fly it. There we go. There we go. Got rid of that menu. Actually, the M4 laser and the Badger and the Bulldog all should be very similar on the shooting. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go with this loadout. I lied. I said I wasn't going to go with this loadout, but I'll do it. Alright, we're going with the Super Hornet. Alright, we're jumping in. Let's do it. Okay, we're looking for a match. Basically, we got 3 seconds to launch into a match. Other players that might be searching for a map also might find our map, or we might find their map. And so it'll be a multiplayer match where we're cooperating with each other, up to 4 players against wave after wave. I think it's 18 waves of Vandal, and they get progressively more difficult as you go along. Every 3rd wave, you get rearmed with ammo and missiles, and if you die and your team finish 3 waves, then you get an additional respawn.
Anvil Aerospace, all systems online.
Okay, so I'm pressing X.
Scanning.
What is going on with my dude? Hopefully that'll fix itself when I actually spawn in. Okay, so we got Paul over here. And we got Mark. Or May X. I'm going to go ahead and hit X. I'm ready. Hopefully when I come in, my helmet's not all jinky like this.
Bogey. Scanning. Scanning.
Big Maz. So we got 4 players. Dang.
Vandal Swarm initiated.
Alright, helmet. Fix yourself.
Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Whoa.
Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
My body is all over the place. Whoa, it's going to be hard to fly like this.
Scanning.
Look at my feet. Look at my hands.
Aft hit. Shields charging. Shields charging.
We're going to do it anyway. I'm going to fly all... Okay. I'm
Flare.
going to be like that.
Shields charging. Target destroyed. Bogey.
Whoa. I'm not decoupled.
Shields full. Target destroyed.
Zero
I've
hostile
definitely got a
contacts
handicap. I definitely.
Aft
Whoa!
alert.
Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Scanning. Scanning.
My
Bogey.
legs are in my way. Is he on my side of the rock? It's hard to tell. Probably not. I don't know what I see in front of me.
Target destroyed.
This is some BS. BSery.
Flare. Target destroyed. Weapon system. Shields charging.
Flying by his instruments only.
Shields charging. Target destroyed.
Has everybody left me? Am I all by myself? Let's check. We got Paul, and that's it. Paul, and that's it. Just me and Paul. The other ones got intimidated.
Shields full.
Okay, there's only one. I have no engine sounds.
Target destroyed.
Zero hostile contacts remaining. Contact. Elite units en route.
Scanning. Bogey. Bogey. Lock.
Why not, right?
Destroyed.
Watch out, Paul! Missiles coming after you.
Lock. 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 Lock.
Alright, little king, I'm on you. Wherever you're at.
Forward proximity alert. Shields charging. Lock. Shields charging. Shields charging.
You are approaching simulation boundary.
This is an example of alpha bug. I should probably report this one. It's pretty severe. All right, Paul.
Elite units eliminated. Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Scanning. Scanning.
Are there?
Bogey. Bogey.
All right, here we go. Oh, they're all the way on the other side of the universe. Oh, except for him. Yeah, let's look. Let's look through the side of my helmet. Okay, he's in range. Okay.
Player.
I know there's not. Oh, maybe there was one.
Full. Target destroyed. Proximity alert. Shields charging. Target destroyed.
Untouchable. Yep. Got the award untouchable. Not that it matters because there's nowhere to track your awards. Look at my arms and everything twisting around like this. I'm like, whoa, that's like freaky. I bet you when I die and I come back in, that bug will be gone. Oh, wait, the bug's gone. It reset itself. No, damn. 11 kilometers, not going after him. Who am I going after? I'm going after this guy. got to be damaged, but he's not.
Shields charging. Shields charging. Destroyed. Flare. Starboard. Target destroyed.
It's almost too easy in a Super Hornet. You know what I mean?
Destroyed.
Whoa. Guess that's wreckage.
Destroyed.
Look at my wrists. And you can see my eyeballs. It's pretty freaky.
Shields full.
Look at my feet. Oh my gosh, they're spinning around. All right, Paul.
0 hostile contacts remaining.
Nice. What's Paul in?
Contact.
Paul is in a
Elite
Hornet also.
units en route.
Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
Elite units. Is that the back of my seat? What am I looking at?
Lock. 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 Aft hit. Shields charging. Flare. Shields charging. Lock. Shields charging. Lock. Lock. Destroyed. Shields charging. Deck. Destroyed. Lock. Overhead hit. Shields full. Shields charging. Shields charging. Flare. Flare. Aft hit. Forward proximity alert. Shields full. Target destroyed.
I'm missing my Badgers. Why aren't they recharging?
Elite units eliminated.
My Bulldogs, they're not recharging either.
Warning. There are multiple hostiles
Shields
inbound.
full. Scanning. Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
Guess I'm going with just 2 M4s.
Lock. Starboard. Hit. Shields charging. Deck hit. Forward proximity alert. Flare. Lock. Flare. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Shields charging. Starboard proximity alert. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Shields full. Shields charging. Target destroyed.
0 hostile contacts remaining. Warning.
Shields
There are
full.
multiple hostiles inbound.
Scanning. Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
What? It's now a vehicle Scythe. It's supposed to be a Hunter 3. It says Scythe S. Whatever. Paul got him, that's fine. It's a team effort.
Flare. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Forward proximity alert.
Dude, you're trying to ram me? What the hell? Or he's trying to get me to run into him.
Shields charging. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
0 hostile contacts remaining.
Where are we at? Alright, we're halfway through.
En route.
Halfway?
Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
I'm picking these two guys because they're the farthest. Or I should say they're the most alone. Hey, Paul's coming this way too. That's good. Let's throttle this shit up.
Flare. Flare. Deck hit. Shields charging. Aft proximity alert. Flare. Flare. Low. Lock. Lock. Shields charging. Lock. Shields full. Flare. Overhead hit. Shields charging. Flare. Flare out. Proximity alert. Shields charging. Shields full. Lock. Deck hit. Shields charging. Shields charging. Target
Your
destroyed.
ACES status has been revoked.
Okay. Now let's see if I respawn.
Bind for reintegration.
without the glitch. So far, so good.
All systems online. Scanning. Bogey. Target destroyed.
Elite units eliminated. Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Whew.
Scanning. Bogey. Bogey.
Going after this one.
Target destroyed. Port proximity alert. Flare. Target destroyed. Collision. Shields destroyed. Shields full.
Now I'm hearing thrusters.
Proximity alert. Starboard proximity alert. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Scanning. Scanning. Shields charging. Aft proximity alert. Target destroyed. Shields full.
0 hostile contacts
Shields
remaining.
charging.
Warning. There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Scanning. Scanning. Bogey. Bogey. Forward hit. Shields full. Shields charging. Shields full. Shields charging. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Flare. Shields
Your
charging.
ACE status has been revoked.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
Stand by for reintegration.
Not getting a whole lot of viewers in the afternoon. That's interesting.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
There's
Scanning.
one other
Bogey.
guy live streaming right now, and he's only got one guy watching. He might be himself, just like me. So there's obviously not a lot of viewers in the afternoon.
Proximity alert.
On YouTube, anyway.
Target destroyed. Shields charging. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Flare. Overhead hit. Shields charging. Proximity alert. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
hostile contacts remaining. Contact. Elite units en route.
Scanning. Shields full. Scanning. Bogey. Scanning. Bogey. Bogey. Lock. Shields charging. Destroyed. Shields full. Shields charging. Clear. Target destroyed. Aft hit. Shields charging. Lock. Flare. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Flare. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Flare. Flare. Low. Target destroyed. Proximity alert. Lock. Lock. Shields charging. Lock. Shields charging. Tank hit. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Lock. Starboard. Proximity alert. Lock. Target destroyed.
Elite units eliminated. Warning.
Collision.
There are multiple hostiles inbound.
Scanning. Bogey. Forward proximity alert. Target destroyed. Shields full. Tank hit. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Aft proximity alert. Target destroyed. Deck hit. Shields charging. Starboard proximity alert. Shields charging. Shields charging. Forward hit. Shields charging. Forward proximity alert. Shields full. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Shields full. Shields charging. Target destroyed. Shields full. Target destroyed. Port hit. Shields charging. Overhead proximity alert. Target destroyed.
0 hostile contacts remaining.
Now I'm going alone. It looks like
There are
Paul
multiple
decided to
hostiles
quit.
inbound.
Scanning.
Or he didn't know that he could
Bogey.
respawn after
Bogey.
the third,
Bogey.
if I cleared a third mission. That's kind of my guess. I bet you he didn't know. I'm not going to be able to survive all these missiles.
Shields charging. Overhead proximity alert. Flare. Flare. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Flare. Flare. Target destroyed. Forward proximity alert. Flare.
See what I mean? Look at all these missiles.
Target destroyed. Flare. Flare. Low. Forward proximity alert. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Flare. Flare. Shield charging. Flare out. Chat. Online. Chat. Shield. Overhead proximity alert. Chat. Target destroyed. Shields charging. Proximity alert. Shields full. Collision. Target destroyed.
0 hostile contacts remaining.
Proximity alert.
Contact. Elite units en route.
Whew. Okay, maybe I should breathe.
Forward proximity alert. Bogey. Bogey. Lock. Target destroyed. Proximity alert. Lock. Target destroyed. Proximity alert. Shields charging. Lock. Port hit. Target destroyed. Lock. Lock. Proximity alert. Shields full. Shields charging. Overhead.
Your ace status has been revoked.
Not just that. That's the end of my match. End of the match. Got some wreck out of the deal. Or is it going to let me respawn? What? Is there somebody out there? Yeah, there's glitches right here. Oh, round the verses out. So we're going to go ahead and watch a little bit of that. Let's see if I can't get out of the game. I'll be right back. Give me a second. right, so let's adjust this a little. Okay, we can get out of that. And let's go to turn the game off, enter the center monitor. There we go. Now let's go ahead and see if I can't stop. Okay, now guys, well, as we watch this, I'm going to maybe pause it and rewind so I can hear something a second time. If you ever want to have me stop something and watch it, just let me know. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of discuss what we've seen on this Around the Verse, or at least what I've seen. Or I might just play it all the way through straight just to see. It's only a 32-minute, so let's see what we got. Love these guys. Let's see if it's Chris and Sandy or who it is. Oh no, I think it's going to be in Austin, so it's going to be probably Kyron Davis, right?
Hello, welcome to
Nope.
episode 7 of Around the Verse, our weekly update behind the scenes of Star Citizen. I'm Chris Roberts.
And I'm
Now, how did you get to
Sarah,
Austin?
and we are another week closer to CitizenCon.
Yes, we are.
Which is 3 weeks.
So on today's episode, we go out to the Austin office for an update on Star Citizen's first data runner.
And we'll also check in with the UK audio team to showcase the music logic system we're building.
Yeah, pretty excited by that one. But first, we're going to go out to John Erskine to explain what else they've been working on in Austin.
We
All right,
have
sounds good.
our senior audio designer, Jason Cobb. He's going to show a detailed look at some of the sounds that he's been crafting that were actually requested by many of our players.
Nice.
So I've been working on the sound of debris that you fly through if you are behind a ship that explodes in the game. During dogfighting, we've had a lot of really great explosions visually and sonically, but we were lacking any sort of feedback for flying through the debris cloud that remains. So I've been working on sounds for that aspect.
Oh, okay. I just did that a few
To do
times.
that, it's really not feasible to have a physical particle for every bit of debris that is generated. So what I do is I take all of the output I generate one by one and drop them into a digital audio workstation where I can set up an effects chain
Nice.
of a reverb for the front and a reverb for the back. I'm using Altiverb.
You mean
in
as
this
you pass?
case, model of a Sikorsky. So when we play the output of all these generated files, they're very dry, but then when I enable the effects, they start to take on some character of, impacting a hull, and I can adjust some of the qualities of that. So we've got the front and the back here. You can sort of start to place these impacts into more of a space. And so I would take all of this output and
That was
render
cool.
it through an effect, and that could be one ship. And then maybe we need a slightly larger sounding ship. Well, we're going to have to render it through another effect. There's a chance we might be able to do the effects part in real time, but for right now in the prototyping, we're just hard baking the assets with reverb in them. So now into gameplay. Let's check this out. I'm going to solo
Okay.
just the explosion and the debris cloud so that we don't have to listen against the ship noise mainly, just to isolate for this test. It seems like maybe the debris cloud's lasting a little bit longer than it should, but it's hard to tell. You want to hear something as you get around it. But you don't want it to
That was
last
pretty good.
too long, although that's not so big a deal. So you can see
That was
the
good.
random position of the particles and the randomness of the pre-baked sounds kind of works, usually. There's a few times where you'll see a large chunk go past your screen and you'll hear a sound and you're like, oh my God, that was perfect. Oh, there's other times you'll see the chunk go by and not hear a sound, and it's like, well, okay, maybe it didn't hit me. So now I'm basically sitting still. This really doesn't happen in gameplay much though, so it's not really a valid test. I suppose it's possible you could be still next to an explosion just by happenstance. So we need it to work in all cases. Now you can also tell that the debris clouds may be a little bit loud compared to the explosion. So the mixing and the fine-tuning is stuff that we'll definitely do, and I can do a demonstration of that right now. I think that when we are in the explosion and then fly away, it lasts a little bit long, but sort of an edge case. This is a level of decoration, of polish that really adds to immersion in that prior we've had these great explosions and you kind of see it happen, and if you fly through it, you're really not hearing much. It's just sort of like, okay, there was the explosion, but where's the rest of it? I see all this noise, all this scattered noise, but I'm not really hearing it. I don't really feel like it's affecting the ship at all. So this is just one of those tiny little details that a surprising amount of work goes into it, but it's
He's looking at the interviewer.
Other little complete fleshing out of the experience of dogfighting. So that you have a little more visceral reaction to that. Yes, there used to be a ship there, and now it's a bunch of tiny bits, and I just ran through them all. It's something that we didn't have before, and that when we put it in, hopefully it'll help people have a little more joy out of the kill they just did.
That's right.
Thanks, Jason. That's really
I'm going to pause that. Boop. You're right. All right, sorry for that short little delay there.
It's amazing the level of detail that goes into making these sounds, things people might not normally think about.
That's
right.
right.
The things that really make Star Citizen great. It's that level of detail and attention to detail that really sets it apart. Next up, we have a report from the DevOps team. We're going to talk about the various things we're working on and show you a little bit about what happens behind the scenes to make Star Citizen run.
Okay,
Well, the
so far so
DevOps
good.
team
I can't wait for that sound.
is made up of 3 main functions here as we're configured in Austin. We have a build ops section of our team, live ops, and publishing. And all of this makes what we call DevOps. They're small groups, so we bundle it all into the same overall term of DevOps. So the build ops team is
Now I'm
basically
buffering. What's going on there?
managing and configuring the systems that we use to put all the builds together that are used in the company, and those are the builds that once they pass QA will also make it out to the PTU and also make it to our live service. So that's a little bit of an overview on the build ops. The live ops team does a lot of the tools and automation systems that we use in our live publishing operations.
All right.
These are things that would automate
Okay,
the
what am I
build out
seeing?
of the services that we use
Nothing
on
really.
the PTU or the live. They're also building the tools that we use for internal development. This could be how we interact with our source code. This could be how we deliver builds internally throughout the company to the QA testers and the engineers, pretty much everyone. And then we also have the publishing team, which does the actual publishing of the game. This is the fun part where we take what's been approved by QA and our leads throughout the company, and we can, this team will publish that throughout the process through PTU and then eventually to the live service. This includes everything from taking the build in its raw state, bundling it up, sending it out to the servers, and then managing the whole patch production process.
So I feel like DevOps is kind of like Scotty, to make a Star Trek reference. You know, you've got all these different crew on the ship that all have their own different jobs and things like that. You know, you obviously need the medic to make sure that the crew members are healthy. You need the captain to guide the ship. You know, Chris Roberts is kind of the captain. You've got all these different roles, but if the ship doesn't run, if it doesn't move, and the sort of warp core is broken, then it doesn't go anywhere. And so I view us as kind of being the guys that are sort of banging in the engine room, helping to make sure that the ship still runs. It's a very critical part of the mission.
So what's happening in the current patching system
Yeah.
is the data that goes in that's changed is compressed into these large pack files that are then bundled up and put into the patch. Well, the problem with that is that even if there's only 3 files that changed in a 2 gig file size, once they're recompressed, the patcher sees this as one giant 2 gig file. If you make these changes across a large number of files, you wind up with a 20 gig patch. So what we're doing is we're breaking all of this apart so that now we can the patcher can actually look at only the files that have changed, not the big bundles of change.
I've been waiting for that.
This way, we're hoping that we can deliver,
Faster
we're
patches.
really hoping for 10% of the overall payload that we're delivering now. So that would be a 90% reduction in patch size. I think
There
a
you
lot
go.
of people are going to be happy about this. I
Yeah.
think it's going to get a lot more people into the PTU because they can get in faster. It's going to help a lot of people out on the edges in the extreme areas that have maybe low bandwidth or maybe a data cap. So
Right, that's
it's
true.
something that's really difficult for us because this actually goes down to the core of how the game engine actually loads files off the disk. So we're making changes to the engine itself with the help of our team in Germany, who's, of course, that's what they do. This will allow us to be able to make use of this new patching process. And I'm expecting this is going to be a big deal for the game, for all the players, and it's really going to help us on delivery times with all these publishers.
Older tools we would use to deploy things, manage configuration for them. They're interesting at the time. There's been a whole lot of work, whole lot of development, but the new tools that we're rolling out really make it easy for us to change things very quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean sometimes you'll be waiting on these tools for even minutes just to change a line in some server somewhere. So now it really feels like we can just issue commands for the whole deployment and they all just obey. It's really great.
Well, I think that a lot of what we do, it's so behind the scenes. Most people don't ever get a chance to see all the little nuts and bolts of how all this works. What does it take to set up a server? What does it take to run 50, 100, 150 servers and keep them all running and keep them all talking and keep the network security up? These are the type of things that we do, and it's really fulfilling work because without this back end infrastructure that we're building and the automation to keep it going fast, I don't think we would be able to move as fast as Chris wants us to move and as fast as the game development is moving, and that's a rewarding experience.
Thanks, guys. That was great. This patch size reduction is really going to make a big difference for all of our players and especially all of our developers who actually have to patch the game multiple times a day. It's going to make a big difference. Now, it's back to you, Chris and Sandy.
Thanks, John. DevOps and LiveOps are definitely some of the unsung heroes that make Star Citizen go, so thank you guys for your hard work. So when we last saw the Drake Herald on Shipshape back in May, it was entering the modeling phase. It's come a long way since then and is heading into its final art pass. We've actually been doing a lot of Drake ships recently for some reason, I don't know why.
Yeah, and the Herald's been an interesting one to watch. It has definitely been one of our more divisive ships.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll sit down with Josh and the rest of the team to see what makes this courier run.
With 2.6, we're excited to release the Drake Herald, and it's our first info runner ship. What that really is going to mean is you're going to have these big data banks on the outside of the ship. They're going to have a lot of volume to store, intel assets. This will be stuff, locations of where research data might be found, mining sites, salvage locations, a ship black box. Any of the intangible you could think of is kind of what we're looking at with intel and what an info runner is going to be carrying around.
OSI.
One thing
Nice.
flying around in the Herald that players are going to notice is that the ship is really, really fast.
Isn't that from the Venture Brothers?
I think the biggest engines per mass on a ship so far. So
It's a nice looking ship. I mean, I like the
anybody
engine, and
knows what
it
a
reminds me
dragboat
of a
is,
Traveler X-boat.
dragster. It's very dragster. I would assume you're going to see a lot of these in races.
That looks like a
I
nice
said,
cockpit.
they're hard to catch, super fast.
How fast is
We
it
got
going?
it loaded as well.
I'm
but
waiting
you
for it
can
to get to
expect,
top speed. Oh my gosh, almost 1,000. Okay.
lots and lots of countermeasures. So with all the ships, pretty much any
That looks
ship,
sexy.
this ship, when I read the specs, the design, the intent of the ship, I usually break out a few keywords, and those will be my motif for the ship. For this ship, I used speed, science, tech, evasion. Also, the motif of Drake had to be integrated in when designing the ship, which is bare bones. It's wires.
I like those
exposed,
the
it's,
electronic components.
trellis work.
That's pretty cool.
It's not as fancy as some of your other branded ships.
Some of the redesign was in part to
Looks
make sure
good.
that we could get everything built to like the metric standards that we need for how big guns are, how big components are, how much space a player needs to actually walk.
Now that's the
in
best looking
and
Drake ship
through
I've
the
seen.
ship.
I don't like
One
the
thing that
Caterpillar. I
always
don't
looks
like the
great
Herald, or I mean not the Herald,
sci-fi
the
movies are these nice,
Cutlass
you know,
or the
creepy, crammed corridors.
Buccaneer, or whatever they
but
call it.
Unfortunately, with a lot
This
of
one I do
game
like.
logic, it's like, well, no, we've got to make a little bit more space so
Oh, look at that front landing gear.
guy can get
That was
to and
beefy.
move around stuff. And so you can definitely see that with the interior of the Herald, where just the comm station in the back, the seat for that's going to slide you in and out as you're using the station to optimize the space as much as possible. But then also some of that back wall area was restructured a bit to open up enough room to make sure that even if that seat's extended and someone's getting out of it, another player or an NPC can walk behind that seat cleanly without having to clip into the walls or bounce all over the place.
When we start the design process for the vehicle destruction system, we come in and I will talk with art and design, and we will sort of work out in 2D and 3D how to
All the
tear apart
sensors
the
are
ship.
open.
So to start that, I would say, for example, I would look under the model. Now, damage comes in sort of layers, right? It's a bunch of different features that work together. There is the exterior hull of the ship. Underneath the exterior hull of the ship, there is an underlying sort of damaged skin and gubbins. Now, the reason we have this is because now we've added a damage shader that you've probably seen that creates a sort of warping metal sort of effect, and you can punch through and you can see through the ship. That consists of the outer shell, the underlying gubbins, and the actual geometry. Now, all these need to sort of blend together at the end of the day, so part of my process is to check for all the different parts of geometry. I want to check for what are called UVs. UVs are what the texture is placed on. That creates the actual visual of the asset. And then we also have another layer called UV2s, and these are what the damage shader actually works on. We can see that in the editor here over in the top left corner. These would be the UV2s. This is what the damage map shader is actually applied to. So when I shoot the ship, there will be ripples and distortion and metal bending. In conjunction with that, I also have to create little sort of explosive charges around the ship. Now, most of my work is preliminary. Basically, I take the model and I set it up for destruction. So I'll break off the pieces, I'll make sure all the checks and balances are there, and I will prep the work for other people. So for example, the particle guys, I would come up with them next, and I would set these things up called helpers. And helpers are little green cubes. They have direction, they point X, Y, and Z, and they're basically a little explosive charge. Now what I did here is I set up sort of little group of them, and this group of them is just a bunch of different effects that are generalized and used on different ships. Explosions, sparks, fire, etc., etc. So when a piece takes 100% damage, it pops off, the explosion activates, and creates more shader damage. So it's kind of layers. You're peppering the ship with your own guns, you're coming in, parts are exploding off, it's all melting, and at the end of the day, you should have a pretty broken looking ship. So if we come in, I'll start hiding some pieces. So I will come over here. We've gone into Max and we've done some initial ship setup. We've checked that the mesh has UV2s. We've checked that the mesh has underlying geometry for the shader to show underneath when bullet holes are taken into effect.
The shader's pretty cool with the damage system in that the shader actually lets you poke holes in the meshes with what are called vertex colors. So when I go into max, I go onto the mesh and I start setting areas where there's translucency, transparency, et cetera, for damage to shoot through. Not every area does need to be shot through, though. You need to make sure that you're not wasting extra geometry, costing performance, adding, internal structure to places that don't need it. But you also want to make sure that every piece blows off, has a neat effect, looks pretty cool when it's flying off, so on and so forth. As you see, some pieces are floating away, some pieces are kind of just sitting around. Those are called vectors, and those are little force pushes that are set in the XML. That tells the piece how hard it should fly off the ship and in what direction. As I come in, I just keep going around the ship looking for areas that are not working correctly. So this area, for example, is working correctly. We see we are getting bullet holes. The procedural system is working, UV2s are working, so on and so forth. But an area that I know it doesn't really work is up here. If we take a look, we see we're kind of getting a bullet hole, but nothing really going on there. Well, that means I have to go back into max and kind of figure out why. Maybe reproject the UV2s, so on and so forth. Like I was saying, testing different weapon types, seeing how they affect the damage, testing different lighting conditions, making sure all the pieces blow off, all that fun stuff. But pretty much, in closing, that's how we put together some of the damage. It's a mix between 3D Studio Max, XML, and the CryEngine. It's a very iterative process, going back and forth until it's refined, and then you hand it off to the professionals at the end, and they sort of tweak the graphic, sort of VFX, they tweak the explosions, health, damage, and lighting. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed.
There you go. Well, I'm pretty excited about the potential of more non-combat focused specialty ships in Star Citizen, especially as we move towards 3.0 and
That was
the
pretty cool.
consistent universe.
And
Looks like they got a little bit more work to
15
do, though.
straight line.
That's what I
I'm
heard.
happy about.
That's what I heard in cruise mode.
While it's been another week of development, it's also been another week of amazing fan content.
Yep. So let's go to Tyler Whitcomb to present this week's community update.
Alrighty.
Hey everyone, Tyler Whitcomb, Community Manager in the Austin, Texas studio, here to bring you this week's community update. Last week, the Origin M50 won the title of Galactic Tour's fan favorite flyer, landing in a spot on our pledge store for 1 week. Just a reminder that there's only 24 hours left on that sale. And the battle continues this week, this time between the Super Hornet and the Vanguard Warden. Look out for those results on the website tomorrow. Tomorrow also brings a whole new issue of Jump Point for subscribers, this time taking a deeper look at the Anvil Terrapin. Definitely worth
I
checking
never
out.
saw the
Also,
vote.
last Saturday, we
I know
had
it's out
Blast
there.
at
I
the
haven't
Austin
really
Bar
looked for it.
Citizen, and just as a
But
reminder,
it's not like
there's
in my
another Bar
face.
Citizen this Saturday, this time in Orlando, Florida. Find out all the details at
If it was important, I would think they would put it in my
tinyurl.com/FloridaBarCitizen.
face.
This week's RSI newsletter, coming out tomorrow, features an extra special sneak peek from Ivo Herzog in our Frankfurt studio, showcasing some of the work done behind head stabilization in FPS, which you can watch in 60 frames per second, so make sure to catch that in the newsletter tomorrow. Lastly, it's time for this week's MVP award. A huge congratulations goes to Jay Corin for his detailed efforts in creating a travel guide for CitizenCon. This was actually brought to my attention by our events manager, and I can see why. So I highly encourage anybody who's traveling to CitizenCon this year, check out the guide. Congratulations again, Jay Corin. You're this week's MVP. Thanks again, everyone, for all your support, and we'll see you in the verse.
No, that was
Weeks
cool.
ago, we profiled some of the dynamic sound effects.
Not that I'm
as we
traveling, but
walked through
that would
the
be cool to
Crash
have.
Ship demo.
Yeah, so
Or
now
no.
we're going to shift our focus to music. Ross Tregenza, Senior Sound Designer at Winslow, is going to give us a inside look on the new music logic system, which I'm pretty excited by.
Does that mean like when you get into a fight, the music changes? I think that's what you're talking about.
Hey, I'm Ross.
Hello there, I'm Sam. I'm going to describe how the interactive music system works in Star Citizen. So from the code side,
With this lava lamp
we've
behind
got a
him.
system that will basically driven off.
Look at that
music
mouse!
events. The way it works is that Ross can decide what happens when the music events occur. So if he wants the event when your ship gets hit by a bullet, if he wants that to be really significant, then he can decide how that happens by using the data-driven tools that we've provided for him.
Oh,
Whatever you're doing, we're making sure that the music system knows what you're doing and is responding in a way that's appropriate and cool and cinematic. So I'll show you some examples.
Okay.
So a really nice example we're working on at the moment is the ambient music.
I like the way they
This is not
changed the
really,
helmet.
you know, any combat or anything going on. We're just
HUD.
exploring spaces and stuff. At the moment, we're hearing some FPS music, so this is just the engine knows that we're on foot. It's playing sort of a slightly synthy, slightly tense underscore that's very ambient. Then as you move into the ship, it'll slowly transition to a more grand kind of exploration kind of feel to the music.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And that's based on the conditions we know. We know that you're in the ship now, and we know that the engines are starting, that kind of thing. We get out of the ship. If we were in space now and we wanted to EVA directly into space, it would work there as well. But we're going to take a cool little jump off the platform here just because it's a great example. As you head towards the edge of the platform and go for a big leap out into space, you'll hear the music transition. There we go, and now we've got this really
Nice.
cool, ethereal, almost Kraftwerk-esque
Ethereal, yeah.
ambient music. All of this by Pedro.
Pedro.
And see, this is all based on conditions that Sam Hall and I have been working on. We know we're floating, we know that we're not in any immediate danger, so we've got this beautiful exploratory, quite sort of a sense of wonder music playing. As we come back down, we'll land back on the platform. We know that, again, no danger at the moment, just FPS, no threats. We go into an FPS ambient music.
Okay.
You can hear this system the most is when you're dogfighting. So here we have a few pirates coming in. Immediately, we'll be getting some tension music. That's based on the fact we have some unknown guys approaching. So the system's told us 2 guys have just arrived. They seem to be a threat, so that's pushed up the tension parameter. Now I'm starting to fire on them, and they're returning fire. We'll start to really see the system ramp up now. The intensity number, which is the real backbone of this system, is going to start going crazy as your shield is getting hit. You're hitting the guys. These numbers are constantly being fed in. As that number rises, we move through way out of the ambient area into low action, medium action, eventually high action, which is really crazy. You see, if you eventually manage to take out one of these guys, you get a boost to the mood parameter, which is kind of the y-axis. Here we go. We also get a little sting there that plays whenever you kill one of the bad guys. The engine has a chance to play a little victory sting. Ta-da! Yeah, we've had a boost that's pushed us into the hero state now, so the music's kind of gone all heroic. We've got big brass sections, and that'll swell back down again because all these parameters all decay back down to like a stasis. There we go, another guy getting taken out there. The coder Sam Hall, what he's provided me with, which is incredibly valuable, is all this debug information. This tells me everything that's going on from, we have all the stings, which are like momentary events that could happen. This is things like ships passing by. As you might have heard, they sometimes get a little trumpety sting when a ship passes by. So successfully hitting bad guys, your ship getting blown up, all manner of parameters. That's our momentaries. And then we have the long-term information. We have the ship's intensity, that's the big number that's our backbone. The mood, and all manner of other parameters that we can use to feed into the system in any combination of ways. And you can see we're getting information in about events here. So we've hit the shield to the ship, so that's good. That feeds into it. Yep, the player's ship has been hit in return. So this constant feed of information, that's what I can rely on to tweak the numbers in the music logic system to make sure the system doesn't go too crazy. Go up into high action too fast or anything like that. We saw a ship destroyed, that gives us a cool little momentary sting. All of this, although we're seeing this in the flight mode at the moment, we're working on it for 2.6 to make sure that these numbers translate into the FPS game mode and eventually also just in EVA combat as well. So no matter what you're doing, this stuff is always appropriate and the music will shift to suit the EVA or the FPS environment.
Nice.
We have a theoretical example just to show you using some console commands here. we can simulate what it'll be like when we have EVA combat working in conjunction with the music logic. So I'll throw in some numbers here. And just like we saw with the pirates attacking your ship when the music logic was going nuts, I'll be simulating the player getting attacked or attacking the enemy. And we'll see that the EVA music, that gentle kind of Kraftwerk-esque music, starts ramping up in this cool kind of choral way. All of this, again, this is all Pedro's beautiful music. And just like the flight combat music, we have heroic EVA music, we have grim EVA music. Exactly the same setup, just with a whole different mood to the music and a different set of actual music loops. And the same thing here now with FPS. This is something we'll be seeing very soon. This is the same system again, but this time we're getting hit by, it could be pirates attacking us, and we're on foot, so the music is a bit more personal, a bit more synthy and dark. You get that kind of grand space music for the space flight. We want to go a little more tense and synthetic for FPS. So again, you can hear that music swelling and falling. This will be a constant background between all these systems, and as you move through different parts of the galaxy, the whole overall suite of music will move from one set to another, but there'll be an understandable language across all of it that you'll kind of get used to. And this will be on its feet and working forever. It's a system that's self-managing and autonomous, really, and will just work, which is awesome. So that's Music Logic. That's what Sam Hall and I have been building in DataForge. We're really, really proud of how far it's come. It's going to be available in 2.6, and that'll be just the beginning. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and grander and grander. But hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks very much, Ross. That is super cool and is going to be an exciting addition
That's
to
it.
the game, and
That's
I'm
the
really
end.
looking forward to that.
Yep, so that music logic system is actually an evolution of a dynamic music system that I first created for Wing Commander called Origin FX. Obviously, it's a lot more powerful and robust, but very cool.
It definitely gives the player a more personalized experience, and everybody's going to feel like they're in their own movie or something. Very cool.
Which is the point of it.
There we go. Well, that's it for today's show. Check out Reverse the Verse tomorrow for your chance to ask the awesome team questions about today's features, as well as some exclusive videos. Also, Ben Lesnick will be hosting a live playthrough of Wing Commander 2 to celebrate its 25th anniversary of release.
Wow.
That'll be on Saturday the 17th, so tune in if you can.
As always, a big thank you to our subscribers whose monthly contributions help us produce video like this.
And thank you, as always, to all of our backers for the opportunity to be here in the first place.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Next week, we'll head out to our Frankfurt office, so make sure to tune in for that one.
Yes, so that's the show for this week. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you
around the verse.
Same with me. I'm going to go ahead and log out, and I'll be back later, probably with another game. Probably, I don't know what game I'm going to be playing, but I'll be back in a little while. See you then.